What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and I hope you're all having a good day today. And hold on, I gotta adjust the volume because it's really loud for me. Anyways, is it nighttime already, right? Is that where I left off? Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna go to bed before I do anything. But today I wanted to talk about what's going on with Helldivers. Helldivers 2. I know I've mentioned Helldivers 2 before, and well, I'm gonna tell you that the community, like as a community, the player base, we won. And what I mean by that, I'm gonna explain what happened. It has to do with something that happened with Sony, because uh, the developer team, Arrowhead, made Helldivers, and it's more or less Sony exclusive, kind of, except it's also on PC. And here, I'm actually gonna start this part. But what happened was Sony decided they wanted to try and make it so that you had to have a PSN account, which is like a PlayStation Network account, whatever, right? And they wanted it so that they wanted you to connect your PSN account to your Steam account to play Helldivers, right? And because of that, well, people were not happy about that decision, and people were genuinely really upset about it, and made a whole big deal about it online. And what ended up happening is players review bombed Helldivers, and were all upset about it. And the reason why people were upset about this update that they were going to do to Helldivers was because people do not trust the PSN network very much, me included, because PSN, well, it's part of Sony, and when you think about it, when you think about which out of all, like, I don't know, if the studios, companies, whatever, like, the companies, Sony's been the one that's being hacked into the most, and, well, giving them your personal information and all that just feels like you don't want to do that because you feel like you can't trust Sony. And also, another thing is, with this PSN, like, you would have to, because you'd be forced to make this PSN account and link it with your Steam account. The problem with it being is that there's a lot of other people in other countries that are not allowed to make a PSN account there. So that means they can't play Helldivers 2 at all. They would be restricted completely. And, well, say you could, some people were saying, well, why don't you just say that you're from another country and still create it in a country where you can't make the PSN account? Well, you can't do that because that's against the rules for the PSN accounts. If they find out you're not from the country you say you are, your account can get permanently banned. So yeah, you can't, like, in those countries that PSN accounts aren't allowed to be made in, that's why, like, people were mad. And basically, Sony was about to pretty much cut off a third of the community that played Helldivers. That's a lot of players. Because I think every day they're at least consisting at least, like, I'm assuming 200,000 players daily, which is a lot of players. And if you're getting rid of a third of it, that's a lot of, like I said, a lot of players, and that really hurts your game. And well, so like I said, the players were upset about it, so they review bombed Helldivers 2. There was like over 200,000 negative reviews put on the game. Absolutely destroyed it. So, it kind of forced Sony's hand, where I think it was yesterday, or the day before, right? I think it was yesterday. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday. They came out and made an announcement on Twitter. You can't see it on the Sony account, but you can search up PlayStation and it's on there. Hold on, I can read it. Let me go find it right now. Okay, so I found it. It was tweeted out by PlayStation, which still is technically Sony. They said, Helldivers fans, we've heard your feedback on the Helldivers 2 account linking update, the May 6 update, which would have required Steam and PlayStation Network accounts linking for new players, and for current players, beginning May 30th will not be moving forward. We're still learning what is best for PC players, and your feedback has been invaluable. Thanks again for your continued support of Helldivers 2, and we'll keep you updated on future plans. So that right there shows that the community banded together and they literally worked together to make a change. And this right here is a good thing because, well, I mean, I know me personally, I have a PSN account, but also I don't trust PSN, right? And, well, the thing about it, right, is I hate that you have to, like, connect, they're gonna force you to connect your PSN account, and I don't trust it, because obviously, I don't even know if my information's even safe, or my account's even still there, if it's been hacked into, I don't know. I haven't touched it. But, PSN, right, PlayStation, like, Sony wanting to basically make the game more exclusive to them, more or less, like, it's more corporate greed, more than anything. And Sony really messed up, but as you can see, the community coming together and working together forced Sony to really, like, just decide not to go against it. And I think that right there gives me and a lot of other people hope for gaming, like the future of gaming. Because why? It gives us hope because if players actually do stuff like this, like this proves to us, if players like band together, we can make a change. Because there's a lot of players that are out there that play games, and whenever something's not good or whatever, like, I'll again, my biggest example that I could use is Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is definitely like the easiest to explain this. Whenever Call of Duty comes out and it's not finished, or it's buggy, or they break something with an update, like, or if they make terrible like design choices, there are a lot of players that just don't care. They tell the rest of us just to deal with it and not, like, help us to make a change. They're like, oh, that's just how it's gonna be, we can't make a change, deal with it, right? And there's also, like, they've been hurting the multiplayer, like 6v6 space of Call of Duty, which is what Call of Duty is. And even though it's terrible, they don't care. They're like, hey man, just go play Warzone or something. And it's like, hey man, I don't want to play Warzone. I like playing 6v6, traditional Call of Duty. That's what I like to play. And, they increased the price to $70, and they're like, hey, just deal with it. The game's $70. You know what I'm saying? Or like skill-based matchmaking. It's like, oh, it's just in the game forever. You can't do anything about it. Just deal with it. Right? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, no one, like, especially the bundles, like, they focus more on making bundles and stuff than actually making good updates to Call of Duty, and everyone just accepts it. Meanwhile, like Activision, corporate greed, they're like trying to get as much money as possible, but meanwhile, we have the Helldivers community over here going up against PlayStation, or not PlayStation, Sony, right? And Sony trying to be greedy, right? The players banded together and were able to make Sony not go through with their PSN, like, account linking update. And that right there, like, shows us, like, hey man, like, any game, we, like, band together and do something that will hurt Sony, like, hurt their company, hurt their wallets, they will listen to us. And here's a hope that maybe the same will happen to Call of Duty, but I doubt it, because most of the Call of Duty player base is filled with a bunch of idiots, and unfortunately, there's just nothing we can do about it at this point. Let's see. Do I want to make another window, like, here? Sure. I'll make another window. But anyways, yeah, just seeing how gaming is at the moment, hopefully we can make a change, because most of these problems are happening from like bigger companies and AAA studios. Like AAA games in general are all just like terrible, awful. While we have indie games going off, they're popping off because, well, those are more popular because the developers making those games are putting their heart and soul into those games because they want to make a good game. Like, look at Lethal Company. That game was made by one dude. One guy made that game. And that game surpassed Call of Duty. That right there. Lethal Company surpassed Call of Duty. Made by one guy. While Call of Duty's being made by like hundreds and thousands of devs. Right? I don't remember, because I remember it was one time they made an announcement saying that, I think it was Cold War, maybe Modern Warfare 2, one of the two, right? The new Modern Warfare 2, not the original. It was made by like, I think 3,000 devs, 3,000 people, and the new Modern Warfare 2 was terrible. And then again, uh, it's not always the developers' faults though. It's not always their fault because at the same time, some of the developers do want to make good games. It's just there's things that happen behind the scenes that really hold them back. And it just sucks, hearing some of the stories, which, I mean, that's something if you guys want to go look up yourselves, some of their stories that come out from, like, say, Activision Blizzard, some pretty bad stories. So, I don't know. That's all I really want to talk about. Like I said, like, oh, it's nighttime again. But, you know, I'm just glad, they're changing it now. Right? Sony's not going through with it. People are going to be able to play Helldivers. They're not going to be restricted, which thank God, because I mean, people paid for this game, and now they're going to be restricted, like they're not going to be allowed to play. That's just messed up. You know what I'm saying? And I do hate the people that are like, well, I already have a PSN account. I play on PlayStation. It's not my problem. And I hate people that are like that because that's just selfish. Like, hey, man, there are other players that genuinely love playing this game just as much as you do, but now they're not going to be able to play. And they paid for the game too. That's just money gone. Like, are you kidding me? I don't know. I just hate people that kind of think that way because it's like, hey, man, there's other people that are, that can't play the game now, and you just don't care because you already have the PSN account. And especially since, like, also, like, we do need their help to complete, like, what are they? They're like, there's like these missions or whatever that come out that get completed by having the entire player base, like, working together to complete it. So progress is being made when all players are playing. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm talking about, but they're like major orders or whatever. Anyways, whatever. I went off like track a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to just talk about, because pretty much like we won, right? And I mean, I don't blame Sony for taking it back as well, because I mean, let's be honest, they've been losing a lot of money. Because not even just from like games, but like also their movies. I mean, they made Madam Web. They lost like, I don't know, $90 million from that movie. That's a lot of money. 90 million is a lot of money. So they've been money hungry, and they're definitely getting hurt because of it. So I mean, hey, that's what happens. When companies stop really like caring about their consumers and really care more about the numbers and money. God, the spider's really loud. I'm gonna move to the other room. But anyways, sorry, I've just been ranting, whatever, just yapping. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this video, and I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye, guys.